The 2023 NBA Draft finally came and went last night, and as expected, we saw quite a bit of action. Rumors were swirling about a ton of potential moves coming throughout the night, and in some ways the movement lived up to the hype, but I wouldn't say that there was really any massive blockbuster deal that shook things up completely. With the picks though, some teams came in and executed their plan masterfully, while others did not so much. And this brings us to today's video. Today we'll be going through the 3 teams or players that I believe were the biggest winners of the night, along with the 3 teams or players that I believe were the biggest losers of the night. Criteria for this includes the sheer talent of the players acquired along with their fit, trades made to utilize the selections to the fullest, or missed opportunities that were presented to them. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. We'll start off with the first team to land in the winners column of the night, and it's the Houston Rockets. The Rockets' morale on the night that the lottery went down was probably a bit low, as they fell out of the top 3 in the order, but now that the draft has come and gone, they've come away arguably with more talent than anyone. I've said this in some of my other recent videos already, but I really do love Amen Thompson's fit in Houston, and his upside is outrageous as a 6'7" primary ball handler and playmaker with out-of-this-world athleticism. The Rockets needed a true point guard in their lineup because the experiment of having Kevin Porter Jr. run point seems to have run its course, and the guy they got with all-star potential can do just that. Then, to top things off, the Rockets were able to snag Cam Whitmore with the 20th overall pick, making him arguably the biggest steal of the entire draft. Whitmore is, in my opinion, easily a top 10 talent in this draft class. The reason for his fall in the draft is because there were some slight concerns about his health after the injury he was dealing with during the season, and admittedly his motor has been questioned. But this reminds me an awful lot of what happened to Michael Porter Jr. on his draft night, dealing with very similar question marks, and he just helped the Denver Nuggets win a championship. So sometimes front offices overthink things like this and pass up on obvious talent, which in this case is to the benefit of the Houston Rockets. Now over to the first loser of the night on this list, we have the Charlotte Hornets. Again, I realize that this may be an unpopular selection to some, but I just cannot get behind selecting Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson in the draft. And even in the post-draft interview, Hornets general manager Mitch Kupchak did not seem to be thrilled with the selection either, as he was fumbling over his words when asked what made the team feel comfortable taking him. It's no secret that owner Michael Jordan has the final say on who the team selects in the draft, and this pick reeks of a selection made by Jordan to the dismay of many others in the front office who may have disagreed with him. Jordan has a pretty poor track record drafting in the lottery, and with rumors of him looking to sell the team, this may be his last whiff before he hands the keys over to the next owner. Brandon Miller is a very good shooter and he plays solid defense as well, but as a shot creator, he is pretty limited and is not the kind of player you can rely upon to consistently create his own offense, especially against top talent. A measly 14% of Miller's shot attempts came at the rim last season in college, and around the basket, he made just 39% of his shots, which is staggeringly low, and it demonstrates how he's unable to create separation off of the dribble. Drafting a 3-and-D player can objectively be helpful for the Hornets, but when you do it with the second overall pick in the draft while passing up a potential all-star, it becomes a bad pick. Now back over to the winners column, the next one up here is the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks masterfully operated throughout the night, and after a disastrous end to their regular season, they've done very well to set themselves up for a bounce back. Entering the night, they knew they had to find a way to shed some salary and bolster their front court, as their interior was easily their biggest weakness last season. Davis Bertans and his disastrous $17 million per year contract was in the way of them being able to spend money money elsewhere. So not only did the Mavericks successfully shed his salary by trading him to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but they also still came away with the prospect that they were probably planning on drafting anyway when they drafted Derek Lively after moving back just 2 spots. They then used some of that freed up flexibility to acquire the 24th pick in the draft almost for free, just by taking on the salary of Richaun Holmes from the Sacramento Kings. And while the move was seen as a salary dump by the Kings, Holmes is actually a big man that could potentially give the Mavericks even more help in their front court. Now back over to the losers column, the next one up here is an individual by the name of Damian Lillard. Now, while the Trailblazers as a whole could probably be viewed as winners of the night, the way they went about it is completely contrary to the goals of Damian Lillard. The Trailblazers are now well prepared to begin their rebuild process, with 3 incredibly promising young talented players in Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe. Those 3 present a strong balance of shot making, playmaking, athleticism, and creation that can be developed over the next few years to hopefully blossom into something great. But the issue is that Damian Lillard doesn't have a few more years worth of patience anymore. He's made it clear to the front office that he's not down with the youth movement, but at the same time, his unwavering loyalty to the franchise is now putting him in a difficult position. We're now at a point where we're all waiting to see if Dame will suck it up and stick around while the youngsters develop around him, or if he'll cave and finally request a trade after saying for years that he wanted to stay in Portland forever. I know this is not going to be an easy decision for him, but it very well may be the biggest storyline to watch as the offseason progresses. Now, for the final winner of the night, we have the Utah Jazz. The Jazz had 3 first-round picks, which gave them plenty of opportunity to take big swings, but it also presented a chance to whiff quite a few times. But now that the dust has settled, I'm a pretty big fan of what they did with each of their selections. The Jazz started things off by taking Taylor Hendricks with the 9th pick, who is viewed as a 3-and-D guy who shoots the ball well and defends hard, but I believe he's comparable to Mikal Bridges, as someone who can obviously excel in that role, but also has some sneaky shot creation in his arsenal that will develop over time, making him much more than that. Then, with the 16th pick, they selected Keontae George, who many believed was lottery caliber talent because of his shot-making prowess. Then, finally, at the end of the first round with the 28th pick, they selected Bryce Sensabaugh, who is one of the purest scoring talents available in the draft this year, and again, could prove to be one of the biggest steals of the night. The Jazz already have good young talent in their core, and they'll probably sell off some of their other veteran talent either this offseason or at the trade deadline, but I think this draft class can set them up for a quick rebuild before they're back in the playoff hunt. And now, as for the final loser of the night, we have the Orlando Magic. The Magic had 2 picks in the lottery last night, and both of their selections felt like pretty big reaches. First, at number 6 overall, they drafted Anthony Black, who I do believe will be a good player to have in the rotation, but while he's good at most things, he's not really great at any one thing, which tells me his ceiling at the next level is as a role player at best. He's not someone who creates his own shot off the dribble that well. He's a good, smart passer and playmaker, and a good defender, but not to the degree that he'll be landing on all defense teams or leading the league in assists, and that's just not the kind of swing a team with 2 picks in the lottery should be taking. Then, with the 11th pick, they selected Jet Howard, who I'll just come right out and say I think was the biggest reach of the night. Howard was fringe first-round talent being selected in the lottery somehow. He's an above-average shooter at best, not much of a playmaker, and his defensive instincts have been a huge cause for concern with him. The Magic had 2 chances to do something big in the lottery, and it feels as though they went 0 for 2. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below who you think the biggest winners and losers of the draft were. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.